Ever watch those nature documentaries? You know, the ones with like colossal squid duking it out in the deep?
Oh, yeah.
Makes you wonder, right? What other crazy, huge creatures are down there just hiding beneath the waves?
Totally.
Well, get ready for a prehistoric mystery. Even bigger than a jumbo squid.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Today we're going back in time, way back,
Yeah.
to meet Archelon,
Okay.
the most massive turtle ever
You
discovered.
know, way. I love it already. We're talking a reptilian tang,
Oh, yeah.
bigger than a car, just cruising through these ancient seas.
Hold on, hold on. Bigger than a car? That's not just a turtle. That's like a sea monster with a shell.
Right.
And, lucky for us, you, dear listener, you sent in the perfect treasure map to guide our deep dive.
Amazing. What is it?
A YouTube video,
Awesome.
all about Archelon.
Let's go.
So let's fire up the time machine, set our sights on the Late Cretaceous period.
Okay. So think about it. Dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Roaming the earth.
Yeah.
And in the oceans,
Yeah.
you've got incredible marine reptiles
Okay.
like plesiosaurs
Okay.
and mosasaurs.
Wow, this is Archelon's hood.
This was Archelon's stomping ground, or should I say swimming ground?
All right, so set the scene for us.
Yeah.
We're diving into the Late Cretaceous. I mean, what did Archelon's world actually look and feel like?
Okay, imagine this.
Okay.
North America,
Yeah.
but sliced in half
Okay.
by this massive inland sea
Really?
called the Western Interior Seaway.
Oh, wow.
It was warm, relatively shallow, and absolutely teeming with life.
Wow.
Just a perfect buffet for a giant turtle.
I bet. Prime real estate. Okay, so we've got this prehistoric ocean paradise.
Yeah.
But what about the star of the show itself? This YouTube video dives into some pretty fascinating details about Archelon's anatomy. And honestly, the first thing that jumps out is just how gigantic this thing was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking colossal.
Absolutely.
Give us a sense of scale here.
Okay. So picture this. Archelon could reach over 4 meters long.
Wow.
Some estimates even push it closer to 5 meters.
No way.
That just dwarfs the biggest leatherback sea turtles alive today. Imagine that thing cruising past you in the water.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I would not want to be anywhere near that, like in a million years.
Yep.
That's a whole different kind of scuba diving trip.
Correct.
And speaking of leatherbacks, one thing that really struck me about Archelon was its shell. This wasn't your typical hard-shelled turtle,
Not
right?
at all.
What was it like?
Archelon had this incredible leathery carapace, which is a really, really intriguing adaptation for a creature of its size. You see a lighter, more flexible shell. It probably made them way more maneuverable in the water.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want to be dragging around a heavy, suit of armor in the open ocean.
Exactly.
How common was this leathery shell? I mean, was it like unique to Archelon? Or were other prehistoric turtles, rocking this look?
That is a great question. And it's one that has paleontologists, digging for more clues.
Literally.
While we don't have, definitive answers yet, it's possible this whole leathery adaptation was more common in ancient sea turtles than we realize.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Now, we can't talk about Archelon without mentioning that face.
Oh, yeah.
This video did not shy away from its, shall we say, impressive beak.
Right. It's definitely a sight to behold.
Yeah.
This wasn't just any beak.
Okay.
We're talking a bone-crushing, shellfish-devouring machine. Imagine a beak so strong it could turn clams into, I don't know, prehistoric potato chips.
Okay, now hold on a minute. Crushed shellfish. That makes it sound like Archelon was just, I don't know, munching on snacks at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
But the video also hinted that they might have had a taste for bigger prey.
Mm.
So was Archelon like a gentle giant, content with its shellfish diet? Or was it more of a, I don't know, prehistoric predator? Our listener wants answers.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? The video does a great job of highlighting this debate, among paleontologists.
Yeah.
On the one hand, that beak, it was clearly built for crushing.
Yeah.
It practically screams like, shellfish enthusiast,
Right.
This lines up with kind of the image of Archelon as this slow-moving grazer, just, lumbering along the seabed, snacking on whatever crunchy critters it could scoop up.
Makes sense. Those ancient seas were like, I don't know, all-you-can-eat shellfish buffets, right? Plenty of clams and ammonites to keep a giant turtle satisfied.
Right.
But you mentioned a taste for, bigger prey. What are we talking here? Giant squid, prehistoric lobsters don't leave me hanging.
Well, hold on to your snorkel because it gets even more interesting. Some scientists think that Archelon's beak, while perfect for crushing, might have actually been even better suited for shearing flesh.
Whoa, plot twist. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're talking about a giant turtle that could, like, potentially chomp down on something a bit, I don't know, meatier.
Yeah.
What kind of prehistoric sea creature would end up on Archelon's dinner plate if, shellfish weren't the main course?
Okay, so we're talking fish, squid, maybe even smaller marine reptiles that got a little too close.
Oh, wow.
Remember, this is a time when, like, massive predators ruled the waves, so Archelon wouldn't have been the only one looking for a good meal.
True. Even a giant turtle's got to watch its back in those prehistoric waters.
Ah.
Talk about a tough neighborhood. Speaking of, the video mentioned these creatures called, like, Nosoceridae
Yeah.
being found near Archelon fossils. What's the connection there? Were they, I don't know, best buddies, or is there something more to that story?
Nosoceris, these guys were like the ancient calamari of the sea.
What?
Abundant, probably pretty tasty.
Really?
Imagine a prehistoric seafood platter just overflowing with these squid-like cephalopods. That's how
Yeah.
plentiful they were.
And Archelon just, like, pigged out.
And the fact that their remains are found near Archelon suggests that they might have been a regular snack.
Okay, so maybe Archelon wasn't too picky about its diet after all.
Mm.
A little shellfish here, a side of, like, ancient calamari there, whatever's on the menu that day.
Right, exactly.
And hey, when you're that big, you need all the fuel you can get.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of energy, the video mentioned Archelon's lifespan. And let me tell you, those numbers were mind-blowing. 100 years old.
I know.
That's older than most tortoises alive today.
It's a testament to how well adapted they were to life in the ocean.
Yeah.
But there's one thing about their life cycle that's always fascinated me.
Okay.
And it's something the video touched on briefly. We know modern sea turtles come ashore to lay their eggs, right?
Right.
But could Archelon, a turtle bigger than a car, actually manage that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I can barely drag my suitcase across the airport, and that's nothing compared to hauling a giant leathery shell onto a beach.
Right.
How could Archelon even, like, pull that off?
It would have been quite the sight, that's for sure.
I bet.
While we don't have, like, definitive proof, it's possible they chose, like, more secluded nesting spots. Maybe, like, sheltered lagoons or, like, protected beaches to make the process a little easier.
Makes sense. Can't imagine Archelon was winning any races across the sand with that build.
No.
But either way, those eggs hatched, and those baby Archelon eventually grew to be massive.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Circle of life, prehistoric style. Speaking of which, I remember the video debunking a myth about turtles. You know, those stories about underwater hibernation.
Yes.
Might not be entirely accurate for marine turtles like Archelon, right?
It's true. As the video explained, marine turtles, even the giants, they need to surface for air.
Yeah.
So while they might slow down a bit during colder months, they don't hibernate in the same way as, like, some land-dwelling reptiles.
Another fascinating tidbit. It's amazing how much we're still learning about these ancient creatures. And speaking of learning, the video went on this fascinating tangent about turtle evolution, like how they even got those iconic shells in the first place.
Yeah.
It even mentioned this half-shelled turtle, Odontochelys.
Right.
What a name,
I
right?
know, it's quite a mouthful.
It is. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Odontochelys is a crucial piece of the puzzle when we're talking about turtle evolution. It turns out the bottom shell, the plastron,
Yeah.
might have actually evolved first, offering protection from below as these early turtles navigated ancient waters.
It's mind-boggling to think that over millions of years, those adaptations led to the incredible diversity of turtles we see today, from tiny terrapins to, well, the absolute unit that was Archelon. Speaking of which, wasn't there another prehistoric turtle with a really, like, intense look? Something about horns?
You're thinking of Mealonia.
Mealonia. That was it. Okay, refresh my memory here, because I remember something about horns,
Right.
which seems a little intense for a turtle, even a prehistoric one.
Right?
What's the deal with this Mealonia? Was it, like, related to Archelon?
Not directly. Mealonia, they represent a different branch of the turtle family tree.
Okay.
They evolved much later than Archelon,
Okay.
and they lived on land
Okay.
in Australia.
Australia. So we're talking about a land turtle with horns.
Yeah.
What did this thing look like? A spiky minivan or something?
Pretty much picture like a giant tortoise,
Oh, okay.
but with these massive horns jutting out from the sides of its head.
Wow.
Some Mealonia species had horns that spanned like over 2 feet long.
2 feet long. That's not just a fashion statement. That's like a weapon. I bet those horns came in handy for, I don't know, defense, or maybe even battling it out for a mate. Talk about a prehistoric headbanging contest. But with a look that intimidating, you'd think Meolania was, a carnivore where they like chomping on dinosaurs down under?
Surprisingly, no, most paleontologists believe Meolania was actually an herbivore.
Really?
Yeah, those horns were probably more for show than for hunting.
A gentle giant
Yeah.
with a serious set of horns.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Nature is full of surprises, I swear.
I know, right?
Okay, so Meolania was definitely unique,
Yeah.
but was it like bigger than Archelon?
Archelon still holds the record for sheer size.
But
But when it comes to massive prehistoric turtles, we can't forget about Stupendomys geographicus. This South American giant might have had a shell even bigger than Archelon's.
okay, now we're talking what kind of like prehistoric salad bar was this Stupendomys munching on to get that big? I can't even imagine the size of its grocery bill.
Okay, picture this. Vast wetlands and sprawling lakes,
Okay?
just teeming with like aquatic plants
Okay.
and invertebrates.
Sounds like Stupendomys had it made, just
Yeah.
lounging in the sun, snacking on prehistoric seaweed.
Right.
But with a size that impressive, it must have had, like, some competition for those resources. What other creatures were sharing its watery world?
Well, this wasn't exactly a peaceful retirement community.
Oh, no.
We're talking like some pretty formidable foes, like giant caimans.
Okay.
Imagine a crocodile,
Okay.
but supersized.
Okay.
We're talking lengths of over 30 feet.
30 feet? That's longer than a school bus. I would not want to be caught in a staring contest with one of those. Talk about a prehistoric showdown.
It definitely wasn't a walk in the park for Stupendomys, that's for sure.
I bet.
But when you think about it, the fact that these incredible creatures, from Archelon to Meolania to Stupendomys, existed millions of years ago, it's a testament to the incredible diversity of life on Earth.
It's truly humbling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Knowing that these giants swam the seas, roamed the land, long before we ever came along.
Totally.
It makes you wonder what other mysteries are still waiting to be uncovered, in the fossil record.
That's the beauty of paleontology. There's always something new to discover.
Right.
Something that, like, challenges our understanding of the past
Yeah,
and reminds us of the incredible power of evolution.
absolutely. Well, for our listener, who's clearly as fascinated by Archelon as we are,
Yeah.
we hope this deep dive into the world of giant prehistoric turtles has been, I don't know, an eye-opening adventure.
For sure.
From the shellfish-crushing jaws of Archelon to, like, the horned headbangers of Meolania.
Right.
It's clear that the prehistoric world was full of surprises.
Absolutely.
And who knows what other colossal creatures are still waiting to be discovered. That's the beauty of science.
Exactly.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to discover, even in a world that existed millions of years ago.
Totally. Until next time, keep those imaginations running wild.
Love it.